Thank you, thank you. What is up, tube users? I am the Stereotypical Gamer, and welcome to the first annual TSG Awards. I wanted to give some awards to the best games that I've played this year, and what a better way to do it at the end of the year. So, first off, do have some ground rules for games. So it can only be games that came out from now until the previous December. So any games that came out in December of 2022, I'm allowing in this award ceremony. Secondly, the only other real ground rule that I have for these awards is the game cannot be in early access. So I have played a fair bit of games that are in early access that are brilliant games and that came out this year into early access, but I don't think an early access game counts as a completed game. So unfortunately, there will be no early access games in these awards, but everything else is pretty much on the table. So let's get right into things and get into our first award for this year. Now, the first award we're going to be giving out is the Sprinkles Award. This is for the game that just kind of took a basic idea and put a little bit extra onto it and just kind of made it unique and different on its own. And the winner of that award is... That's right, Friends vs. Friends. Now, this is a game that I have been following for a while now. Before it was in early access, when it was just in a development stage, I saw it at PAX. I think 2020 was definitely during COVID, and it just blew me away by just how fun the FPS mechanics were of this game and how unique the card playing mechanic was. So basically in this game, it's either 1v1 or 2v2 game that you play, versus friends, or you can play online. And basically, the uniqueness of this is that you have a deck that you build with different buffs, debuffs, different weapons, an entirely unique deck that you use to play your friends against. And it's just so fun, so intuitive, and so interesting to play. It was so much fun playing it at PAX, and I've just been waiting for this game to come out, and it finally came out this year, and oh my god, what a blast it is to play now. Obviously, the just different cards and different mechanics that each card has and the different combinations of cards that you can do is really unique, but also the different characters. Each character has a kind of passive ability, although some are just cards that you get in your hand to start out with, so they're not really passive. But just everything about it blends itself to just a unique place in the FPS genre, because it is a first-person shooter at the end of the day, and it is extremely fun. The gunplay, obviously, is really what needs to drive it home for an FPS game. Feels really smooth. There's not a whole lot of guns, unfortunately, so there's not a whole lot of uniqueness to it in that regard, but the card playing aspect is what puts it over the edge and makes it such an extremely fun game that is totally unique each and every round, because each round you get new cards, there's just new ways to play. It's so fun and so exciting each time you go in. Now, this game was definitely a strong consideration for Game of the Year for me, because it is really that fun to play. But unfortunately, I think it lost out basically due to the lack of maps. Now, all the maps that are in the game are really fun, but there's only 5 maps to play on, which does get kind of repetitive. And although you have your entire decks, you have all these unique characters and stuff to build a unique and fun time each round you play, the maps themselves just kind of get boring after a while, especially just playing the same 5 maps over and over again. It really just kind of bores itself after a while, and so unfortunately, just for that reason, I couldn't consider it Game of the Year worthy. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be updates aplenty for this game. They've already had some updates that have come out this year that added new and unique things, but just simply, if they had more maps, I really think this could be game of the year. But unfortunately, it isn't, but it is good enough to deserve an award, and that's why I gave it the Sprinkles Award, because it really does add a unique and fresh take onto the FPS genre. It is primarily a first person shooter, but the deck building and the card mechanics that give buffs and debuffs and just kind of change the way you play each round really does make it unique and fun to play, especially like versus friends. Obviously, it's really fun. Playing online is also super fun. They do have a like ranked quote unquote system that is somewhat competitive. This definitely does feel like a competitive game online, but I do like the more laxed approach when playing against friends. And while I do prefer doing the 1v1s in Friends vs. Friends, they do have a 2v2 mode, which can be really fun, especially when playing with a friend and just being able to synchronize your decks together and synchronize your characters together to create this unique blend to go up against another team is really fun and interesting to kind of play to that strategy that you're going for. I really think that plays into how well the card mechanic is in this game, that you can have two people on the same team create these different decks that also synchronize super well together, and the synchronization between cards and characters is super cool and super interesting, and it just adds to this unique blend of a game that is primarily just a first person shooter, and I think the first person shooting aspect isn't the primary focus. I really do think it is the deck building, which just makes it all the more better. And the one other positive I will say with this game is that I absolutely love the soundtrack for this game. There are very few games on Steam that I'll buy both the game and the soundtrack bundled together, because I'm not a huge fan of like listening to gaming music in general, but there are a few games, and this is one of them, that I really think the soundtrack just adds to the experience and makes it unique and flavorful on its own. But that's it for the Sprinkles Award today. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be getting into awards each and every day, counting down to the new year, and finishing off with my personal Game of the Year award. So look forward to that. And honestly, I think each day I just wanted to highlight the games that gave a unique and flavorful blend to this year of gaming, because I did play a lot of unique and fun games, and while I can only have one game of the year, I really think a lot of these games deserve an award for what they did. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one. Peace.